When we win, we get it back, then we take it on back to a ladder so unbalanced. It's the Masochist challenge.
Alright, we are Platinum Tier 5 Gaming, and I'm going second, but I technically have a hand trap in Retaliating C. And they have maybe bricked. Alright, 2 trap monsters in hand, so nothing else I can link off for that Silhouette Rabbit. For now, I think I'm just going to go to battle just with the Ascendant of Thunder. Countergate. Negating my attack and drawing a card, sure. I do kind of want the extra interaction with the Silhouette Rabbits. If they had Imperm, they either just drew it or they would have said it, right? Could be a Veiler. We'll see. Nope, nope. Okay. I hate doing something this telegraphed, but, you know, Prey of the Jiragumo is technically the chance of another pop. If they have Lightning Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster, I'm just gonna cry. That's just the way it is. They drew Palladium Oracle Mahad. They put it in the Prey of the Jiragumo zone. Yeah? Okay, sure. They're gonna reborn my level 7. They could overlay, I guess. Or it's just another big body for them. I'm gonna see where this goes. Ebon Illusion Magician. I guess I will do the temporary banish here. So I didn't have to deal with the destruction effect of Mahad. And I can save my trap monster pops for other things. Interesting. That's all they had. And they brought it back to the center zone. So I guess I'll kill it. Drawing a trap monster is not the best thing here in terms of speed, but it is good in terms of continuing to profit off of the Statue of Anguish pattern I have set. I will just go battle phase here. They have evenly matched. They've been waiting a very long time to use it. They do not. Let's see if they can rip anything useful off the top. They must be bricked on like some vanillas that they can't summon. Setting 1. Right, well, I'll bring out the Anguish pattern to get the Silhouette Rabbit pop. Defense draw. They have a lot of stall cards, but no battle fader, like hand effect cards. So we have 3,600, and with the trap monsters I can flip up, that is game. Do we have any other trickery? Should be Tiki Curse for game. And that'll do it. Very well. First master pack of Platinum this season. What can I get out of a Platinum pack? Ooh, an ultra rare, okay. Link Devotee, honestly, This is kind of nice to see, just given the kind of Link stuff that I have. This just takes a level 4 or lower Cybers monster. If it's special summoned for this to the turn, you're locked into Link 2 or lower. And if it's tributed, usually by the other Link 1, Link Disciple, I believe it's called. So if it's tributed, you can special summon 2 Link tokens. Pretty darn nice for just, you know, getting a bunch of fodder. Can't make huge Link rating boss monsters, but I don't actually need that to get some good setup going. Amano Kujaki, funny card. It's a light fiend, but the main thing you can do with this is do floodgating. So you cannot activate the effects of other special summon monsters with the same attribute as this card. Once per turn during the main phase of this card's owner, quick effect, you can give control of this card to your opponent. Then you, the activating player, can make this card become any attribute until the end of the next turn. So in theory, if you know you're up against like Blue Eyes, you can summon this, you know, give control of it, and I guess in that case you would have it remain a light monster, and then they can't use other light monsters' effects. Obviously on their turn, they're going to try to give it back to you, but either way, it could be a funny card if we get like a Fiendsmith Tract that can like search it essentially. Anyway, what else? Blackwing, Jetstream the Blue Sky, Mecha Phantom Beast Raiten. Wish those were more playable because there sure are a lot of low rarity Mecha Phantom Beasts. Detonating Karibo. Need to refresh myself. If a Karibo monster card is on the field, oof, okay, you can special summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can equip this card you control to that opponent's monster as an equip spell with the following effect. The equipped monster's effects are negated. You know, that is essentially like a really bad imperm. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, equip this card. Oh, but okay, I see where I was misreading here. It's not, you don't equip it from hand because then it'd be really good. You can equip this card you control. So this thing has to be on the field. I was like, why does this sound good? And it's because that would be good, except that's not what it does. You have to have it on the field first. Fair enough. My bad. Twilight Ninja Kagen. Super Hippo Carnival. This usually shows up in like BS sort of like FTK decks or whatever. Special summon a Performapal Hippo from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then special summon as many Hippo tokens as possible, but they cannot be tributed, and monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for attacks for the rest of this turn except Hippo tokens. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck while a Hippo token is in a monster zone. So what I saw this played in was a Bistro Butcher deck. Bistro Butcher, when it deals damage, the opponent draws 2 cards. So the idea is you somehow give the opponent Bistro Butcher, then summon a bunch of tokens, attack into it so that you continuously draw cards and eventually win with Exodia. It's like the worst Exodia deck. But it probably has other utility too. I just don't know if I have Performapal Hippo in my collection actually. Alright, anyway, main event here. What's the holo? Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, shiny. It is a tuner plus a non-tuner Blue Eyes, so obviously usually the Blue Eyes White Dragon itself. It's a great card, I will say that. You know, it has the negate a card that activates in the graveyard effect, and then you contribute it to special summon a Light Dragon Synchro monster from the extra deck in defense position. I think I have... Is Crimson Dragon a light dragon? I'll have to look. And it's probably a dark. I don't know if I have targets for this thing. Oh, you know, I have the Spell Trap Pop. But I don't have, obviously, the Blue Eyes Boss monster that they normally tag into. That's a pretty cool pickup, though. If I ever get into... If I can ever pull Blue Eyes out of the Legacy pack, for example, and actually get into it. Interesting pack. I really like seeing the Link Devotee. I think that will get played for me at some point in like a more Link-focused deck. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Alright, going first here. The opponent's on 44 and 15. The hand's a little sussy. I will be activating the desires because otherwise I'm doing nothing. Did banish one of the DPE bricks, but at least this opens up a potential game plan. I've got Statue of Anguish pattern in hand, so naturally we're going with the Silahat Rabbit. I'll take the Mimesis Elephant because it's a level 2 and sometimes it's a floodgate. And now we just have to hope and pray that they have not opened up Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, or Evenly Matched. Might be a tall order, but they are on 44 cards, so it's less probable. Normal Despian Tragedy. Am I about to get super polyed? Battle phase. Again, I ask if I am about to get super polyed. Huh. Well, I definitely don't want to send that thing via card effect, so I'm gonna kill it by battle instead. Soliak. So they get to add a tier limit monster, unfortunate. Adding the tier cache, which is main phase only. We're in the end phase, so we'll see if they use that next turn. Gonna push to battle phase, see if they activate it. There it is. Banishing what? Just the Soliak, sure. You know, I think I will negate and destroy that. It's kind of big, and I don't need them getting 5 cards instead of the 2 they're about to get. At least now they have to be rather lucky. And I'm still gonna go to battle phase here. I don't like seeing the Alistair engrave, but we'll deal with that when it gets to it. Main phase 2, we should probably start doing more stuff. Let's go Gigantic Sprite. Grab the Hyperia. Witch of the Black Forest, pretty nice. Which will search Behemoth, just because it's a nice potential out. And doesn't really matter. Let's grab Infernal Prodigy, make Little Knight, using Gigantic Sprite to banish the Alistair in case they have a random invocation in hand or something. Tiki Piece, which eventually could be a redoer with 2 traps under it. For now, it's just a Statue of Anguish pattern pop. Magical Meltdown, grab an additional Alistair. At least if they normal and use the effect of Alistair, I can banish it. Interesting. Maybe they're just gonna hard poly or invocation from here. Going to the battle phase. I guess I'll use the Sprite Elf. We'll draw a card, because why not? Going end phase here. Okay. Sure. Well, let's pop this thing. They'll get their Fright Fur card, but unless something catastrophic happens, the duel is over. All right, well, all of that is rather unnecessary. I'm just going to go to battle phase and see if we have it. It was very tempting to make Avermax right there, but he doesn't actually do anything different than what's happening already. Let's go collect our pack. Alright, for beating the weird invoked deck. Well, a little bit of an upgrade there. Mathmech Induction. Is this any good? All Cybers monsters you control gain 500 attack. If you control a Mathmech, which I do have like Mathmech Edition, but what's it called? Final Sigma, yeah. If you control a Mathmech monster, you can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard, then target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. I mean, 1-for-1 pop is not terrible, but it's not great. Yummy Musement, very funny. I do have Cupsy Yummy, obviously I just don't have any of the other Yummy cards. Wabaku, another one for the stall deck. The one thing that's really missing from the stall pile that I have gathered is a stall win condition. I don't have any like deck out cards. I don't have final countdown. I don't have a continuous burn effect. So while I could stall an opponent, I don't have a win condition other than them getting bored. Donpa Marksman for Hire, another level 2 for hire. During your main phase, you can special summon one monster for hire from your hand except Donpa. If a monster for hire is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. That is pretty darn good. You know, make a little for hire sprite kind of pile would be nice. I'm missing for the Rex Freight for hire a spell trap target. I don't have any spell trap targets for it, unfortunately. Full Metal Foes Fusion. I do have some of the like vanilla fusions. I don't have many of the main deck monsters though. Brawn, Mad King of the Dark World. And ooh, a level 10. I do have, you know, the rank up to level 11, the Lieb. I don't have a rank 10, but or at least not a rank 10 machine, I don't think. But this is a pretty darn good card in Earth Machine. If an Earth Machine monster is normal or special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand, but its original attack defense becomes halved. And if this card is detached from an Xyz monster and sent to the graveyard to activate that monster's effect, you can target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And then we have a random Nouvelle card. I do not have the Nouvelle cards to make this work. If eventually I get, you know, more of them, I'll come back and read this card and assess if it's playable. Interesting pack, you know, some potentially playable cards if I get enough math mechs or if I, you know, get on stall with Wabaku. And, you know, I've gradually been seeing some Earth Machine cards. There's not yet a full deck out of my collection for those. But, yeah, this is a pretty solid pack. Eight new cards. I do love to see that. All right, loading in, going second against a 60-card deck here. The username is some kind of equation, except not really. Okay, setting 1. We got any spell traps there, friendo? Okay, setting 1, setting 2 spell traps, and then fusion deployment. Why? Alright, so we're going to special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon, but we're fusion locked. What's happening? I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still going to be annoying to deal with. Let's see, I will hit this set card. It is a Chimera Fusion randomly. I'm gonna chain on. And Tiamaton. And then Tiamaton destroy the rest of these cards. This is a pile and a half. Is this like a 60-card Masochist deck? What is happening? I think I have to wait to pop that Blue Eyes with Dogmatica Punishment, as sad as that is. Goblin Thief. Sure, man. Well, I'll lock myself from the extra, but I don't see any reason not to kill this thing. Do they have any graveyard effects? No? Okay. What a pile. It's going to take me 2 turns to kill them. But unless they top deck something pretty amazing, it's kind of a done deal at this point, right? I suppose they could top deck like Red Eyes Fusion and then I'm just owned into the sun. Die by burn damage, perhaps. But given the cards we've seen so far, I'm pretty confident. Okay, well... I have no idea what's been happening in Platinum 5, but I am happy to take another dub and get another pack. GG's. Ooh, and rewarded with the fancy schmancy holo pack. What is going on here? 3 ultra rares at a minimum, because the other cards could also upgrade. Wow. Arbor Ninjutsu, Art of Rust Mist, a ninja trap card. Gravekeeper's Spy, a classic. Bujincident. Amaze Attraction, Viking Vortex. Is this any good? It's, you know, it's an amazement card, so you have to equip it either to an opponent's card or your amazement card. If it's equipped to an opponent's card, when the equipped monster activates this effect, return it to the hand. That would be good, except that if it's a non-summon effect and then you equip it, it doesn't do what you want it to do. Otherwise, that's kind of nice. Battle of Sleeping Spirits. What the heck is this? Each player can special summon 1 monster from their graveyard that was destroyed by battle this turn in attack position. And if you special summon Elemental Hero Neos by this effect, If it battles your opponent's monster this turn, its attack becomes doubled during the damage step only. Very anime card, I guess. Alright, let's look at the 3 ultra rares. We have Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles. So generic Synchro 9 in terms of materials. If an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during the damage step, you can destroy a card on the field. That is pretty solid. During the end phase, you can equip one equip spell from your hand or graveyard to this card. Then you can equip a Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. I have been randomly pulling the small Infernoble Knight main deck monsters. So this is kind of an insane payoff for those cards. I guess I'll have to go back and look at them, and I do have some Noble Knight equip spells and stuff. This, just the fact that anytime you equip, once per turn anyway, you get to non-targeting destroy a card on the field seems pretty nice. If I could somehow, equip on the opponent's turn, that'd be even better. Yeah, wow. That feels pretty strong if I can get the right cards for it. Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. I do not have any of the other high rarity stuff for this deck, but, this is certainly a great card for the strategy, kind of a grind game piece for it. And, has the, targeting effect prevention. Unfortunately, I just don't have the cards to be able to use it, but 10,000 Dragon. Usually just seen on the title screen or splash art for the game. Cannot be normal summoned / set. Must be special summoned by attributing monsters you control whose combined attack and defense is 10,000 or more. If summoned this way, the attack and defense of this card becomes 10,000. Level 10. So not usable, I don't think. I mean, I'd love anyone watching this who knows a way to abuse this. Let me know. But I think this is just kind of a cool card. Not something I can necessarily use. That Synchro is very tempting, though. Very tempting. I need to take a look at my equip spells and my Infernobles. Anyway, thank you very much, Platinum 5. Let's keep on going. Right, going first, the opponent is on 40-6. They are just quitting in advance. Well, I suppose I can't complain, but I really did want to play that one out, given that I had Fusion Destiny and all that. But anyway, Minai, not a bad card. When a water monster's effect is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. So if that water monster is a level 4, then you're immediately into the rank 4 water stuff. You can banish a face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, then target a face-up card on the field. Negate its effects until the end of your opponent's turn. So you can special this thing, and then you can use it to negate an effect on the field, but of course that second effect is a slow effect, an ignition effect. Moving on, Pilgrim Reaper, nice little rank 6, often used with the Fiendsmith package in Tearlament because it mills 5 cards from the top of the deck to the graveyard. Should say each player's deck. So an interesting pickup there. I don't think I have a way to abuse it, but nice to see. King of the Ashen City. I'm just going to assume I can't use that one. Dino Wrestler Marshall Ampello. Void Cauldron. Evil Tal Folis. Gaia the Midnight Sun. Not familiar with you. You contribute one other light monster, add a level 4 Dark Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, then send a card from your hand to the graveyard. You can banish a dark monster from your graveyard, then target one monster on the field. It loses 500 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Yeah, kind of a little too old school, a little too slow. I can see what they're maybe trying to do, uniting this with the lackluster kind of chaos stuff. And finally, Performapal Odd Eyes Butler. With the pendulum effect that when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can add an Odd Eyes Pendulum monster from your graveyard to the extra deck face up, and if you do negate the attack, then you gain life points. Cool, cool. And then monster effect, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target a Performapal or Odd Eyes monster card you control, except this name. Special summon this card, then destroy that card. And if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Interesting, maybe this makes it into like an Odd Eyes or Performapal pendulum slot pile. I don't know. But a pretty low impact pack. The Min Iruka maybe comes up if I get on water at some point. Anyway, let's keep on moving. Loading in, going second this time, and you know, I do have, I guess, Soul Scissors play off rip if I do normal Soul Scissors plus Ascendant of Thunder. It's really going to depend on how strong their turn 1 is. I see. I see. I see. Interesting. Guess I'll activate Lord. Set Witch. Set these other cards. My guess is that they will be able to Solemn Dogmatic Punishment, but if not, the duel is mine. And let's set Moon Mirror Shield. Fight stun with stun. End phase. Interesting. Well, I don't feel like I'm in too much of a rush, so let's check for any nasty Mirror Force cards. Synchro Zone. I'm not sure why they chose to activate that before the battle phase. I appreciate them. Anything here? Right. I'm locked by Dogmatic Punishment. That was a silly mistake to make. Play around Maxi, I guess. Pot of Desires, not bad, not bad. All right, here's the out to Synchro Zone. I assume they will Solemn this, but let's give it a go. Summon successful, it would seem, but maybe they have a skill drain. Ah. Yeah, that'll do it. And it's the worst one it could possibly be. Okay, well, let's see what else we can get. That is not a bad one. Now we just wait around until they summon. And blow everything up with Torrential Tribute. Okay. Solemn Strike on the Soul Scissor effect engrave. That cannot be correct, man. Okay, well. Let's grab Elf. Elf, bring back, you know, Hyperia. Got our Fog Blade. We'll leave it at that for now. Next turn, I can banish the Synchro Zone with SP or Silhouette Rabbit to have Spell Trap pops as every time I have a trap monster. Lilybell. Let's make Lizardos. Bring back Hyperia for yet another draw. And Little Knight finally get rid of that Silly Billy Synchro Zone. Can't attack directly because of SP Little Knight's effect, so we wait once more. Kashira Unicorn. Gonna chain on just in case they go battle phase. Okay, they're forcing the Sprite Elf. They think they'll be able to profit off of this. Little do they know that I have extremely targeted negation. Enjoy getting blown up. Battle phase for Y. Okay, yep. They have had enough finally. It does feel good hammering away at stun players, and it feels even better when you get a holo. Snow Dust Giant. Rank 4 water. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material, reveal any number of water monsters from your hand, and place that many ice counters on face-up monsters on the field. Non-water monsters on the field lose 200 attack for each ice counter on the field. Kinda boring, but, you know, I'll take it, I guess. Chronomaly Colossal Head. Regenesis Warrior. Ooh, that's pretty good. So as long as I have a 2500 attack or defense thing on the field, I can special this out. And then you can quick effect tribute it to target a monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So it's pretty decent, and of course, it has the effect that all Regenesis, or most Regenesis monsters have, I should say, that if you did that tribute effect, if this card ended up in the graveyard during your opponent's turn, then in the end phase, you can add it back to your hand. Pretty decent in that regard. I would love to see, you know, tons of Regenesis cards or some way to kind of build around a 2500 strategy. Don't know that I have that at the moment, but it's nice having some of this low rarity stuff. Charm of Shabti, Chaos Zone. Each time a monster is banished, place a chaos counter on this card. Once per turn, you can remove 4 or more chaos counters from your field, then target a banished monster with a level equal to the number removed. Special summon that target. Interesting. When this card is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can add a light or dark monster from your deck to your hand, whose level is less than or equal to the number of chaos counters that were on this card. Not bad as a searcher. I certainly don't have the cards to make this work, you know, very proactively at least. Legendary 6 Samurai Shinai. Ancient Rules. Special summon a level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand. Classic. Get out like a Blue Eyes or a Dark Magician with the use of a spell card. Kind of outdated at this point, of course, but you know, possibly useful if I get some build around cards like Blue Eyes. And what is this? Rainbow Overdragon. So I did previously pull Rainbow Dragon. I don't have a lot of main deck Crystal Beast monsters. Must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by attributing a level 10 ultimate crystal monster. Once per turn, you can banish a Crystal Beast monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to that banished monsters until the end of this turn. And then quick effect, you can tribute summon this fusion summon card, shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. So pretty gosh darn powerful. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to properly summon out a level 10 ultimate crystal monster, but I could throw this in the extra deck just as like a Dogmatica punishment thing that has 4,000 attack instead of 3,000. Pretty cool to see. Unfortunately, I think the best card in this pack in terms of stuff I might actually play is Regenesis Warrior, actually. Anyway, we keep it moving. Ooh, loading in, going first, and boy, what a stinker of a hand. I could technically maybe hold out and then Moon Mirror Shield on the elephant. Oh, I should not have won that. Well, because my opponent assumed I had a stronger hand than I did, here we are again at the pack screen. Let's see what we can pull. ZW Ultimate Shield, okay. Oh man, I just pulled this guy like a week or two ago. So my second copy of CXZ's Burying Hope, sure. Assault Slash. If you control an assault mode monster, destroy all face-up monsters on the field. Could be cool if I can, you know, get an assault mode strategy going, but that doesn't seem likely. Ooh, speaking of water stuff, Buzzsaw Shark, pretty crazy. You can target a water monster you control, special summon from your deck in defense position one fish monster with the same level as that monster, but with a different name, and if you do, it cannot activate its effects this turn. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Xyz monsters. Very good card. You know, if I get any payoffs in the extra deck as far as like water Xyz, then this card is a huge part of how that will be playable. I don't have like Kraken, I don't have Bahamut Shark, I don't think, so I will have to go and see if I actually have any rank 4 waters that are worth playing, but that is a pretty nice pickup. Evil Swarm, Res Velg, a second copy of the Memento field spell, Earth Golem Adignister, not my first of that either, but technically a Super Poly target if I ever get a Super Poly. And what is the Hollow? Dark World Archive, so a Dark World card, a one of really, because it requires a lot of setup where you already control a Dark World monster and then you like discard to draw Dark Worlds. Yeah, anyway. Whatever it is not playable. For me, I do not have certainly any of the good Dark World stuff. But, you know, for a pack that I got simply because the opponent bricked or whatever, I will take that Buzzsaw Shark for sure. Okay, going first this time. The opponent's on 40 and 15. And if nothing else, I have a lot of draw power. Let's start with Hyperia, try to draw one. They let it go through, but then they draw. All right, so the question becomes, you know, what's the disruption here? I'm going to hope that a spell trap pop and a monster pop in the form of Statue of Anguish pattern is good enough. This might be the first time that Droll has been activated against me that it actually prevents me from drawing stuff. Ooh, you know, I should have put one of these spell traps in the column with Rabbit to try to do Tiamat, but it is what it is. Sure, let's TT. Blow everything up and hope that's enough. Sure, let's blow everything up and hope that's enough. Some kind of hold there. So they might have another Regina in hand, or Lucina, whichever one kind of quick effect summons itself. I think that's Regina. Hydraulis Harmonia. Revealing a bunch of stuff. For sure. And then they can send, yeah, Golden Cloud Beast to bounce one. I think they pop my guy, but I still pop their guy. So it kind of depends on what else is in their hand. I actually don't mind getting that bounced back to hand. Okay, I will bring back the statue. Just have a body block. And it doesn't matter because they have every broken card in the game. Alright, going second. This is my fourth coin toss loss in a row, all to meta decks previously. So let's see what this person's on. They've got 10 in the extra deck, which gives me a slight amount of hope, but they also have all the Labyrinth aesthetics, which will be a rough time. Setting 2, you know, could be okay. I don't have a single monster. I imagine they have Ash Blossom since they have 3 cards in hand. True Light. Okay, was not expecting that. Looks like I did banish Fusion Destiny. Good to keep in mind. Trickstar Light Stage is actually a nice top deck for whatever that set card is. They are going to set a spell trap. Alright, well, Lilybell Summon. See if they activate the Mystery Set card. I don't care about Destined Rivals yet, so we'll lock down that. Then Tribute Summon Behemoth and boost him with the Clockwork Knight. This technically floodgates the Link 1 in the Blue Eyes deck. Spirit. I think it needs a spellcaster or dragon. Alright, setting all my trap monsters because they can turn into other things later. They don't actually... There's no disruptions unless we're counting like Mimesis Elephant. Get rid of the mystery card and get the attack boost. Setting the ultimate fusion, I would have assumed they'd go for Roar or Wishes, something they can play on this turn, but fair enough. All right, so you have a level 1 machine. I guess they can make a Link Karibo. Either way, there's nothing I can do about it. Successor Soul. They're gonna special summon Blue Eyes from hand. The worst way possible. Okay. This does turn on their... whatever that trap card is. I'll just take the 25. I need all the Link material I can get. Ooh, a little too scared to attack, huh? That is interesting. Special summon a Blue Eyes monster. Is it going to be Jet Dragon? Abyss Dragon, okay. They can add a Ritual or Polymerization, and then they can also add a level 8 or higher dragon. This is a suboptimal way to play Blue Eyes, but of course it's still good against what I'm doing. Adding the Blue Eyes alternative. Okay. I guess let's lock down the skill drain. Do a little normal salmon. I believe that's a hard leg reference. Yeah, and then we'll do Sprite Elf. They have the thing that can make their Blue Eyes unaffected and unable to be destroyed by battle, so not much I can do about that. Also, can't be targeted because of True Light. Let's go for Tiki Piece. Tiki Piece, bring back the Mimesis Elephant as a level 4. I think we're actually going to do it this way. I really want to kill the True Lights. So, Silhouette Rabbit. Set a... another Tiki Curse, whatever. And then the original Tiki Curse. Summon. That makes Silhouette Rabbit able to pop the True Light. No Jet Dragon in hand. Unless I'm mistaken, if they have a trick up their sleeve, they better use it now, or I have somehow walked away with this game. GG's, wow. All right, it is once again that time in the episode, wrapping things up here. I've got 20 legacy packs to open. We'll see if we get anything interesting in those, and then we'll do the final master pack for beating the Blue Eyes. All right. Let's take a look here. Antitopian, I already had. Remove Brainwashing. The control of all monsters on the field returns to the owners, so I do have 3 of the Kaiju field spell and 3 differently named Kaijus, so technically I could do something with that. I think that's kind of a decent application. Gap the Divine Soldier. This guy is responsible for so many FTKs, most recently that I can think of in Enneacraft with like the Wake Cup cards. So all monsters are changed to attack position. Their battle positions cannot be changed. Once per turn, you can reveal any number of fiend monsters in your hand. This card gains 300 attack for each, but the main thing is that if you set a flip monster, it'll flip it to attack position and activate its effect. Flock Together, what are you? Place a monster from your deck in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Place 1 monster from your deck in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous trap. Interesting. You can only use one Flock Together effect per turn, and only once that turn. The total number of cards in monster zones and face-up monster cards in the spell and trap zones must be 10 or more to activate either of this card's effects. Okay, well that last line, anything interesting that came before that just got negated by that last line. Woof. That 6, each time a player rolls a die, you can choose 1 die result and apply the appropriate effect. So you can either take a 1, 3, or 5 and treat it as a 6, or take a 2, 4, or 6 and treat it as a 1. A Megalith card is pretty nice. I've been looking out for those. Parallel Twister, send 1 other spell trap card you control to the graveyard, then target a card on the field, destroy it. Pretty decent, given that it's target any card. When I'm running a ton of spell traps, if I ever get like rollback or like Black Goat Laugh, something that has more utility, that would be pretty nice. Also a random Crystron card. I don't know that I knew Krystrons were in the Legacy pack for the older Krystrons, but that's a bit of a nice pickup. Center Frog, not great, but I do have Swamp Frog, so that's worth noting there. What else looks interesting here? Just taking a look. A Morphage Lechery. Does this have the like, yeah, if this card is pendulum summoned or flipped face up, neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck while this card is face up on the field. So if you can like pendulum summon this Amorphage and equip it with like Moon Mirror Shield or something, that could be something. What else? Chain Whirlwind, activate only when a card on the field is destroyed by a card effect. Select 2 spell trap cards on the field and then destroy them. Meh. I think I've picked out all of the interesting looking ones. The Remove Brainwashing is actually maybe interesting, especially if I pick up even more Kaiju cards. But anyway, let's go to that final Master Pack. For once again, defeating the Blue Eyes Menace through sheer willpower and skill alone, if I could speak. What do we get? Crystron Quan, my second of those. And, you know, pairs nicely with the Smyger that I just got in the Legacy pack, I suppose. Smyger could, I guess, summon this thing from the deck, but this one is, you know, it synchro summons with cards in your hand, but obviously you have to summon a machine synchro. Spirit Shield. That's like the negate an attack by banishing a fiend or zombie monster from the graveyard, and negate a card effect that would destroy a card by banishing a fiend or a zombie monster from the graveyard. Cool and nice to have multiple, I guess. Another Nouvelle card, this time a ritual spell. Again, I will go back and read these if I get any of the ritual monsters, or preferably multiple. Fortune's Future, target a banished Fortune Lady, return it to the graveyard, then draw 2 cards. Worm Opera.
Goddess of Sweet Revenge, another really funny card. While you control no cards, and this is the only card in your hand, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card, destroy as many cards as possible your opponent controls, then you can special summon a monster from your deck. So not a card that you want to use, but if you can resolve it, obviously, pretty strong. Nef Shadal Fusion, interesting. Activate this card by declaring an attribute, equip only to a Shadal monster, and it becomes that attribute. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a Shadal fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, including the equipped monster. So finally, a way to fusion summon Shadals. I just have to get a good Shadal monster that this would be worth using on. But nice to have in the bank in case that ever becomes a possibility. I have gotten a number of the Shadal flip monsters, so there is maybe some potential there in the future. Last card, Fabled Crus. It is a level 2. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, you can target a level 4 or lower Fabled monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Right, not the most grand pack to end on, but I certainly can't complain. Gotten a lot of interesting cards this session. I'm gonna have to look over the Infernobles because that Synchro monster does seem like it could be crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like to keep up with the series, please subscribe. But either way, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.